Jeff Keighley's Game Awards were this week, and my God, this might have been one of the best ones in recent memory. I mean, we got a ton of trailers, ton of announcements, ton of surprises at the show. Not a lot of hardware. I was thinking Nintendo would drop the bomb for the Switch 2. We didn't see it this year, but it's one of those. Is like, does Nintendo really need the Game Awards? Right? Nintendo could drop it tomorrow, and it's going to be the biggest story of the day. But anyway, Game Awards, ton of cool stuff. A lot of cutscenes. A lot of cutscenes, not a lot of gameplay. That would probably be my only critique about it. But like, even the cutscenes we got, I was literally drooling, mouth wide open the entire time I was watching it. As far as the awards go, Astrobot took home Game of the Year. Yeah, PlayStation's Astrobot took home Game of the Year, along with 4 other awards from the night, making it the most awarded Game of the Year during the Game Awards. And I wanted to take a second to talk about this, because this is kind of a really cool thing for PlayStation, because the Astrobots themselves were kind of just a throwaway, right? When the PlayStation, 3 or the 4, PlayStation 4 had the camera, you could make Astrobots appear around you, and it was like, that's how they sold that mechanic and showing like AR technology with the PlayStation 4. And then when the PS5 came out, we got the Astrobot like demo game to show off what the PlayStation DualSense can actually do. And it was a really good game. And then we saw Astrobots get their own standalone game. So it's kind of been really neat to see this evolution for Sony, and like what was just kind of a side throwaway game is now one of the biggest games on the platform and one of the biggest games in the industry. So kudos to everybody over there. Metaphor Fantasio took home 3 wins. Black Myth Wukong took home 2 awards. Helldivers 2 took home 2 awards this year. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 took 2, along with Best Performance for Senua. And Creator of the Year went to Queso. Congratulations to Queso. Big fan of your work over there. But those were like the big takeaways for the awards. And outside of that, I wanted to talk about the announcements and the trailers. Witcher 4. Holy crap balls. We got a trailer for Witcher 4. I did not expect this, and I did not have this on my bingo list. Essentially, this is going to be following Geralt's daughter, Ciri, and the graphics for this look incredible. Granted, again, it's not gameplay, it's all cutscenes, but it looks so beautiful. I'm all in for this. You know, Geralt pretty much like retired after like Blood and Wine, so it makes sense for his daughter to take over and like continue the series. But when you're watching this, it's so cinematic. Like the shadows and the flames and everything about this just looks super cool. And it really gets me questioning, like, what new powers is she going to have? Like, what new techniques are we going to be getting in this series, because it's a brand new hero? And how are they going to expand the series now that we have Ciri? I'm in. And this trailer ended in probably one of the most badass epic ways of the night, where like, they're basically like, we had to kill this girl because of the gods. And Ciri looks into the camera and she's like, no gods here, only monsters. And I'm like, let's freaking go. Downside is no release date, which I think, I want to play this game tomorrow if it came out. But at the same time, we're talking CD Projekt Red here. So take your time. I do not want to see this game be another Cyberpunk 2077 where it's like half-baked at launch. Launch this game when it's ready. If it's 2027 when this game comes out, I will still be excited then. But yeah, Witcher 4 was announced. We also got a brand new football game from the people who made Sifu, which we're watching the trailer, right? And it's showing like the football mechanics and the soccer mechanics depending on where you're at. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. And it's like, from the studio that brought you Sifu. And I'm like, hold up, are we getting like a football version of Blitz where like I can like fight people? But that's not what this was at all. If anything, I genuinely would guess that this is like a little football game that they created internally, and they're like, let's try to see if we can like turn this into something. Like, we like playing it in the studio. Let's see what else we can do. But this is a 5v5 arcade style football game. It looks extremely casual compared to like FIFA. But there's also the mechanic that you can bounce the ball off of the wall, which was giving me like blitzball feels. Anyway, a rematch looks awesome. No release date for it, but it does look super cool. We also got our first look at Split Fiction, which is a brand new game that is coming from Joseph Ferris and his team over at Hazelight. It's a co-op action adventure game. The story is you have 2 authors who get transported into the books that they're writing. One of them is sci-fi, one of them is fantasy, and you bounce between story and story. So you go from future to fantasy, you bounce back and forth. It's co-op, so you're playing either couch co-op or online with a friend, and this game literally has everything. You have wizards, trolls, snowboarding, dragons, futuristic robots, mermaids, speeder bikes, exosuits. We saw pigs get turned into hot dogs. Like, this is one of the games that I'm like, I cannot wait to play this. And really, I think what's super cool is what Hazelight does very well with their co-op games is if you buy the game once, you can play it with your friend for free. Right? Thanks to Friend Pass. You buy one copy of the game, you can play with your friends online. They don't have to own a copy of the game. I think that is such an awesome mechanic that more studios need to embrace. But anyway, Split Fiction will be launching on March 6th of 2025. I think I, for one, will be playing this the day it launches. And I'm going to be putting my wife to the test. She's not a big gamer, but I'm going to be playing it with her. We got a new trailer for Splitgate 2. This is the Portal Halo combo. The game looks so athletic. It looks fast-paced. It looks fun. Releasing in 2025. We got a brand new trailer for Borderlands 4, which is obviously the classic looter shooter that we've come to love. But it looks like, I don't know, I made a note after watching this. It just looks so grown up, right? This was one of the very few games that we got gameplay, and I was just like, man, Borderlands looks like it's so grown up now. And not in the sense that like kids can't play this game. I mean, like, the series knows who it is. The series isn't like, oh, we're still trying to find our footing. It's like, no, this is Borderlands. We know what Borderlands is. We know what Borderlands fans like, and we're going to be giving it to them. And I think that was just so cool. I mean, we saw new weapons, we saw new Vault Hunters, and I just looked at it, and I'm like, yeah, this is what a Borderlands game should be. And I can't wait to play it. No official release date here, just the release window of 2025. We got a brand new Ninja Gaiden video game called Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. Side-scrolling classic is returning in the summer of 2025. And I'm really surprised that we're not seeing more games come back. Like, side-scrolling was such a big part of my childhood. And when you look at like the games that I'm playing right now, very few side-scrollers out there. So hopefully we see more of this, and hopefully Ragebound is a success for the studio, which causes more people to follow up. Helldivers 2 dropped a brand new trailer for their DLC expansion, Omens of Tyranny, last night. Obviously, this is bringing on the new enemy, the Illuminate, who we've been talking about since the game launched. They have finally arrived in the game. They destroyed Super Earth, which I think brings a really cool mechanic here. We are going to be fighting on Super Earth. So no more like open fields. We're going to be fighting in urban environments, brand new enemies. And the gameplay footage we saw in this trailer reminded me so much of like classic Call of Duty Zombies, where you're just fighting hordes of enemies. And again, I love this game. This was my game of the year up until I played Indiana Jones. So I will definitely be checking out this DLC. Also got a brand new vehicle in game. So no more like walking from activity to activity where you just feel like it's a walking simulator. Now you can drive. Thank you. I think that's a great improvement to the game. And cannot wait to check this out. It looks fantastic. So Helldivers 2, Omens of Tyranny, definitely do not sleep on that one. Then we get a brand new Game of Thrones game, which I don't know if it's just because I'm like playing Indiana Jones now and like we have, you know, Game of Thrones showing up, but I'm kind of like, man, are we going back to the Hollywood era of video games when like TV shows and movies come out, we get video games with them anyway. But anyway, this trailer is a brand new action RPG that has White Walkers, giants, Jon Snow. It looks like a classic console game. Like if you looked at the old school Hollywood movie video games, this is what it reminds me of. But then it blew me away because this is a mobile title. I thought this was a console game. The entire time I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, I could totally play this on PlayStation. Nope, mobile game. Mobile game releasing in 2025. So definitely we'll have to try that out to see if like this is now where mobile games are at. Then we got the trailer for Mafia Old Country. And we got a lot of announcements this night, but this one is like top tier, S tier for me because this game looks beautiful. And I'm not the biggest Mafia fan. The New Orleans one was pretty cool, but like I'm definitely checking this game out. So Mafia Old Country will be set in the 1900s in Sicily. You're going to be playing as Enzo, who joins the crime family, kind of like a rags to riches story. And I think the thing I took away from this entire trailer is that the way that this game was shot or how this trailer was produced, it was so cinematic. Like it looks like a period piece, but it also looks like a Scorsese film. Like, and granted, yes, we're seeing cutscenes and we're seeing a little bit of gameplay, but if they can capture like a Hollywood classic Scorsese feel into a video game, that's something I don't think we've ever seen in a game. And like, sign me up, dude. I'm all in. I think that this game is going to be one of the sleepers of 2025. And there's knife fights, there's shootouts. It's obviously going to be like an old school Mafia movie. So I think this looks fantastic. Mafia Old Country did give us a release window, summer of 2025, so mark your calendars there. We will definitely be checking that out. And then we got Elden Ring, which, what the fuck, guys? I now have so much egg on my face because of this announcement. Last week's show, we were like, oh, the studio basically said no Elden Ring 2. From Software was like, we're not interested in doing an Elden Ring 2. That was literally less than 7 days ago, and then what do we get? Elden Ring expansion? Come on, guys. Are we journalists or what? I had to go in the comment section and be like, yeah, I'm an idiot, because everybody jumped to our video last week and was like, oh man, wait till he sees the Game Awards. Thanks, guys. I have so much egg on my face. Anyway, Elden Ring Night Rain is a co-op spin-off of Elden Ring. It's a slightly smaller Elden Ring map, and it's going to have waves of enemies that are randomized, and it's very interesting because, like, Souls gameplay, like Elden Ring, I'm always like, I have a strategy, I know what I'm doing when I go to fight these battles, but then you throw in, like, a friend, and it's like, that changes the battle completely. Like, can they just be, like, throwing spells and shooting arrows from the side while I do all the hard work internally? It does evolve the game drastically, so super cool. It's going to be launching in 2025. Power World was at the Game Awards, and they dropped a brand new trailer for their DLC Faybreak. It's going to have brand new pals, new biomes, a completely new island, new tools, new building materials, and it's all going to be launching very soon on December 23rd of 2024. The one thing I wish Jeff would have done with the Power World announcement is that, like, while they were showing the new trailer, is have a split screen and then showed, like, the Nintendo executives that were there at the Game Awards, because they were there. And I would have loved to see their reaction to this game and be like, just sitting there casually as, like, Power World's just taking over the genre. It's the one thing I think Jeff could have done differently. Obviously, I know he wouldn't have done it because it would have damaged his relationship with Nintendo, but I have to assume Nintendo was not happy about that game trailer being shown last night, considering the lawsuits. Outer Worlds 2 also dropped a trailer last night. Obviously, this is the comedic first-person shooter RPG game. It's back. The studio is saying it's going to be 2 times bigger than the previous one. I think that's super cool. We saw things like freezing guns where you can freeze your enemies and break them. There was like a leech gun that shot like bugs at your enemy. Really weird. The game looks great. I mean, it looks like Outer Worlds, more of what we've come to love from the first game. It looks like the comedy is coming, so it's super funny, super non-serious, which I think is what the Squanch game did so fantastically this year. Or was that last year? Shoot, was that last year? Yeah. Holy smokes. Yeah, so anyway, I love non-comedic, non-serious first-person shooters, and yeah, so this is more of it. And then the final announcement, which I think everyone is talking about here, is the new Naughty Dog game. Yeah, Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. This is Naughty Dog's brand new space IP that is set 1,000 years into the future. We got our first look at Jordan A. Munn, who's the main character. They're a bounty hunter. They're on a planet whose communication went dark hundreds of years ago, and she's trying to be the first person to capture her bounty and leave the orbit in 600 years. And at one point in the trailer, like, Naughty Dog starts, like, listing their accomplishments, and it's like Crash Bandicoot, The Last of Us, Uncharted, and like going off and off. I'm like, yeah, okay, we get it. You guys have made great games. You've made every single one of my favorite games, right? Like, Naughty Dog is one of those studios that they could literally come out with, like, Pet Rock Simulator, and I'll be like, Game of the Year, I'm playing it. I don't care. Naughty Dog, what they've done with Uncharted, they have a pass. Like, Uncharted, Last of Us, Crash Bandicoot. You guys are Naughty Dog is one of those studios that is in a league of their own, and I cannot wait to play this game. The fact that they're going space is super cool because this will be a futuristic thing, right? Do we get lightsabers? We saw a little bit of like a laser sword to begin with, but like, what else do we get? The gameplay kind of looked hack and slash, so are we going to get hack and slash mechanics, right? You do get some brawling and some shooting in Last of Us and Uncharted, but we've never really seen like a hack and slash fighting game. Dude. There is so much speculation surrounding this game. Neil Druckmann, who worked on Last of Us, is working on this game, and this game's going to be awesome. I cannot express it enough. I'm really, really excited about it. But anyway, the Game Awards, yeah, I mean, this was the best Game Awards, I think, in recent years. So kudos to Jeff. Kudos to the team who worked on it. Let me know in the comment section what your favorite announcement was. Did I miss something?